Last night around 9 p.m. East Coast time, Donald Trump sent the following email to his supporters. I subscribe to the emails so you don't have to. Ben, I need you. Look, Ben, I need you. My end of quarter fundraising deadline is today, and failing to meet this goal would be really, really bad. Trust me, you don't know what could happen. It wouldn't be good. So I'm giving one lucky patriot the chance to have dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Hey, Donald. Be quiet, okay? You're tanking the economy right now, and this is the grift you are pulling, asking your supporters for money. Why? Because you want to run for a third term in violation of our Constitution, while you crash our economy, while you destroy the lives of veterans, while you toy with people's Social Security, while you say that it's a Ponzi scheme with Elon Musk, while you shut down Social Security Administration offices, while you give tax cuts to your billionaire friends, while you engage in a hostile takeover with Musk. Take a look at this article from the New York Times. Tariff Gambit bets Americans will swallow higher prices. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Trump's Treasury Secretary, argues that the American dream is all about more than cheap televisions, but inflation-weary consumers might disagree. Trump, you promised on day one, you idiot, that you were going to lower prices on day one. You literally had to do nothing and prices would have gone lower because under former President Biden, inflation was dropping to 2%. Now it's surging. Now our GDP is crashing. Now top economists are predicting stagflation, great recessions, potentially depressions. And you're calling Wednesday Liberation Day where you're going to tariff the entire world? This is a kleptocracy. This is an idiocracy. This is a dystopian reality show that we as Americans are non-consenting participants in Trump's dystopian reality show. It is despicable. This from the New York Times article. Trump's ability to convince consumers that it is acceptable to pay more to support domestic manufacturing and adhere to his America First agenda could determine whether the president's second term is a success or a calamity. Hey, New York Times, it's already a calamity. You don't need to use all of those words, by the way. All you need to do is say Donald Trump is a liar who has brought calamity to our shores, who has isolated the United States from our allies. The European markets and equity markets are doing good. Canada, Europe, Asia, they're forming alliances with each other and isolating the United States. And all you have to do, New York Times, rather than use all these big words right there, is just say, play the clip, because let's talk about what Donald Trump promised on day one. Play this clip.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one. Starting the day I take the oath of office, I will rapidly drive prices down and we will make America affordable again. Prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down and they'll come down fast. We will rapidly defeat inflation. We're going to bring your prices down. Vote Trump and your incomes will soar. Your net worth will skyrocket. Your energy costs and grocery prices will come tumbling down.
Yeah, promises made, promises broken. Why? Because this is a Ponzi scheme presidency. This is a rug pull presidency. They lie and then mount lies on top of lies and then hope corporate news uses all these big words to confuse people. But guess what? We're the captains of the media now. And we are speaking clearly, concisely, and we're not mincing words about what is taking place here. Donald Trump is engaged in a Ponzi scheme presidency where he mounts lie on top of lie. What's his latest? Oh, we're going to give you a Doge rebate check. Oh, you know, the no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime we promised. So those are the tariffs. Those are the tariffs, is what the Trump regime is arguing, because the Trump regime says tariffs are tax cuts when tariffs are actually taxes. Here's Peter Navarro, Donald Trump's economic advisor, fresh off his prison sentence or jail sentence for contempt of Congress. This is one of the main election deniers and people who tried to overthrow the results of the 2020 election. And here he is saying, my message to the American people is that Tariffs are your tax cuts. No, they're not. They're literally taxes. That's why I call this a kleptocracy. Play this clip.
Well, you heard Lucas's reporting there where the president says he doesn't care if the prices go up on U.S. cars. So what's the message to the U.S. consumer?
The message is that tariffs are tax cuts, tariffs are jobs, tariffs are national security, tariffs are great for America, tariffs will make America great again.
So while all of this is going on, Donald Trump sitting in the Oval Office yesterday, musing. Someone called him, he goes, someone called me kind. Have you heard of the word kind? What a word. I've never heard of the word kind. Kind. So is it an old-fashioned word, the word kind? Play this clip.
Mr. President, you met with the chairman.
Somebody said that about me the other day. They said, who doesn't know me very well, they said, you're such a kind person. And I said, say that again. They said, you're a kind person. I said, I've never heard that before. It was a weird statement. I was kind.
Who said that?
I've heard of words that, I don't know, I better not tell you. You know, I've been called a lot of things, but it's sort of a different kind of a word. It's like an old-fashioned word, isn't it?
Mr. President, you met with
Okay, we are what? We're not supposed to comment on that? We're just supposed to look the other way and not be like, hey, this is a demented, malignant, narcissistic individual with clear signs of cognitive decline and mental issues, in my opinion, that look like someone who has dementia. It's my opinion, of course. I'm not a medical professional about what I'm observing there. I also don't want to necessarily go in that direction because that gives him an out to be like, oh, well, that's why I'm doing it. But I mean, what the hell are we even watching right here? For all the media that was like, oh, former President Biden stutters. He's a stutterer. Biden was handling things professionally at the highest level. This crap. Oh, this was Donald Trump from what? In the past few weeks, this is one of his lines. Groceries. Have you heard of the word groceries? It's like an old-fashioned word, groceries. Play this clip.
They talked about the price of groceries and how expensive it was. And I campaigned on it, in all fairness. I haven't used the word grocery. It's like an old-fashioned word, but really it's not. And people understand it. And I campaigned very hard on groceries, and they're coming down very much. If you look at your gasoline prices, it's really coming down tremendously. And that's bringing other prices down with it. So, I mean, I have really great people, but it took a period of time. You know,
Donald Trump posting things like this now on his social media platform. Europe should make a $200 billion deal with Trump. That's what Europe should do. Yeah, I don't think so, Donald. I don't think so. I don't think Europe or Canada or Asia or Mexico or South America or Central America or Africa or the Middle. I don't think they really want to do deals with someone as unstable and as pathetic and as vindictive as, I don't really think people want you as a friend. I think you made it pretty clear to the world just to isolate you. I mean, just take a look at these stats. And by the way, every day this number gets higher. Flight bookings between Canada and US down 70% amid Trump tariff war. Airline capacity between the two countries reduced significantly. Not a shocker. By the way, I think that number is going to get closer to 85 and 90%. By the way, you know what you're doing as well, Donald? All these physicians from Canada who also wanted to work in the United States, some top doctors, they don't want to come here. Also, American doctors want to now work in Canada and get the hell away from your despicable, tyrannical regime. You hear this story as well, people? This one's really sad. This is from Fox. Jeffrey Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre seriously injured after a wreck. Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's victims who was trafficked by Epstein, says she's suffering from kidney failure after a crash with a school bus in Australia, and she says she only expects to live for a few more days. Our heart goes out to Virginia and her family during these very, very difficult times. Just so you remember, Virginia Giuffre was trafficked by Epstein. Epstein found Giuffre working at Mar-a-Lago. Giuffre was homeless, and then she got a job at Mar-a-Lago when she was, I think, 17 years old. And that's when Epstein found her through Ghislaine Maxwell, who Donald Trump wished well. Maxwell brought her to Epstein, and then Epstein found her and then trafficked her after finding her when she was homeless and previously homeless in Mar-a-Lago. And she's horrifically sad. And the Trump regime said they were going to release the Epstein files. It's not a shocker to us that they're not releasing them, and they haven't released it. And just more of the same from the Trump regime. Lie after lie after lie. Trump said Epstein was a great guy who likes women on the younger side. Trump and Epstein partied together all the time. Trump wished Ghislaine Maxwell well at her criminal trial for sex trafficking. Donald Trump is all over Epstein's flight log. Epstein was on Trump's plane. Horrible stuff. Horrible stuff. Judge Boasberg, Washington, D.C., said a hearing this Thursday in order to show cause, basically a contempt hearing for the Trump regime violating the orders not to kidnap migrants and send migrants to El Salvador. We're learning more stories about people who were sent to concentration camps in El Salvador. In a court filing last night, the Trump administration admitted that it mistakenly deported a Maryland father to a notorious Salvadorian prison due to an administrative error. In Monday's court filing, attorneys for the DOJ admitted that the Salvadoran man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, was deported accidentally. Quote, although ICE was aware of his protection from removal to El Salvador, Abrego Garcia was removed to El Salvador because of an administrative error, the government told the court. Trump lawyers said the court has no ability to bring him back now because he's in Salvadoran custody. Horrific stuff. Also, a federal judge yesterday barred the Trump regime from ending the temporary protected status for 350,000 Venezuelan nationals, which was slated to expire last week. As Kyle Cheney reports, Judge Chen, an Obama appointee, said the decision by the Trump regime to take away temporary protected status of all Venezuelans was rooted in racial discrimination by Noam and Trump, saying they distorted the data to label the massive group of Venezuelan TPS holders as basically Tren de Aragua, all of them basically. And I just think about the Venezuelans in South Florida who voted for Trump and their family members losing temporary protected status. Horrific stuff. Horrific stuff. We'll keep you posted every step of the way, of course, here on the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.meidastouch.com. All 100% USA union made.